before the world becomes loud again, take this moment to return to yourself. The morning is still untouched here. The air feels softer, the light slower. And for a few quiet moments, nothing is pulling you away from your own thoughts. The path ahead stretches gently along the cliffside, empty and calm, while the first sunlight reaches across the ocean below, turning the water into thousands of moving reflections that rise and disappear with every wave. And maybe this morning feels a little like your life right now, still unfolding, still becoming, not fully clear yet, but already moving towards something brighter. You do not need to see the entire path ahead in order to keep moving forward. You only need enough light for the next step. And right now, this moment is giving you exactly that. A chance to breathe before the day begins asking for your energy. A chance to reconnect with yourself before responsibilities, expectations, and noise start filling your mind again. You are allowed to begin slowly today. You are allowed to let your thoughts settle before rushing into action. There is no prize for starting the morning already overwhelmed. Your life does not become more meaningful because you carry stress from the very first minute you wake up. In fact, maybe the strongest thing you can do for yourself right now is choose calm, choose awareness, choose to move into the day without abandoning your peace first. And as the sunlight continues rising slowly over the horizon, you can let yourself believe that new beginnings do not need to arrive dramatically to be real. Sometimes growth looks quiet. Sometimes healing looks like simply waking up again with a softer mind than yesterday. Sometimes strength is choosing to keep going without becoming cold toward yourself in the process. You are becoming someone more steady now. Someone who no longer needs chaos in order to feel productive. Someone who can move toward their goals while still protecting their own inner calm. And that matters more than you realize. Because the version of you that you are slowly building is not meant to survive through constant pressure and exhaustion. It is meant to last. It is meant to move through life with clarity, with intention, with enough awareness to actually experience the life you are working so hard to build. You are not behind because your journey has taken longer than expected. You are not failing because you are still figuring things out. Everyone moves through life at different speeds, and your timing is not something you need to apologize for. There are parts of your life already changing quietly beneath the surface, even if you cannot fully see the results yet. Every morning you choose to keep going. Every moment you choose to breathe instead of panic. Every decision to believe in yourself a little more instead of giving up completely. Something inside you becomes stronger. And even if progress feels slow sometimes, slow progress is still movement. Slow healing is still healing. Slow growth is still growth. The ocean below does not rush toward the shore. The sun does not force itself higher into the sky. Everything here moves with patience and certainty in its own rhythm. And maybe you are allowed to trust your own rhythm too. Maybe your life is not something you need to sprint through in fear of falling behind everyone else. Maybe you are allowed to build something meaningful, slowly, carefully, honestly. And as the morning light continues to warm the path ahead, you can begin letting go of the pressure to have every answer right now. You do not need to solve your entire future this morning. You only need to stay present enough to take the next step clearly when it arrives. You are capable of that. You are more resilient than your fear tells you. There are already difficult days you have survived, already moments you thought would break you that somehow became part of your story instead of your ending. And because of that, you can trust yourself a little more now. You can trust your ability to handle life without needing to control every outcome before it happens. You can trust that clarity comes more easily when your mind is calm instead of constantly overwhelmed. And right now, standing at the beginning of another day, you are allowed to choose that calm again. Not because life is perfect, not because you suddenly have everything figured out, but because you deserve to move through your life without carrying unnecessary heaviness every moment of the day. So breathe slowly again. Let your shoulders soften. Let the morning hold you here for one more quiet moment before everything begins moving faster. You are still growing, still becoming, still moving towards something good, even if the full picture has not appeared yet. And that is enough for today. And as you continue standing here at the edge of a new morning, you can let yourself stop carrying the idea that you are running out of time. Your life is not something that needs to be solved all at once. You are allowed to learn as you go, to change slowly, to become stronger gradually instead of overnight. There is no deadline on becoming the person you are trying to grow into. And maybe that realization alone can help your body relax a little more right now. Because so much of your exhaustion has come from feeling like you always need to be further ahead than where you are. But this moment is asking you to stop fighting your own pace for a little while. To stop measuring your progress only through visible results. To recognize that there are changes happening inside you that cannot always be seen immediately. Your mindset is changing. Your awareness is changing. The way you speak to yourself is changing. And eventually, your life begins changing from those quieter shifts first. Every peaceful morning where you choose presence instead of panic is helping you build a more stable foundation inside yourself. And from that foundation, clearer decisions become possible. Healthier habits become possible. A calmer future becomes possible. Because you are no longer trying to build your life entirely from stress and survival mode. You are learning how to build from clarity instead. And clarity grows in moments like this. Moments where your mind finally becomes quiet enough to hear what actually matters underneath all the pressure. Maybe what matters today is not doing everything perfectly. Maybe what matters is simply staying connected to yourself while you move through the day. Maybe what matters is protecting your energy instead of constantly draining it, trying to keep up with everyone else. You are allowed to move differently now. You are allowed to create a life that feels calmer, slower, more intentional. And you do not need anyone else's permission to begin doing that. The version of you that is growing right now does not need to prove its worth through exhaustion anymore. That version of you understands that peace is not weakness. Rest is not failure. And slowing down long enough to breathe clearly is not laziness. It is awareness. It is maturity. It is learning how to stay grounded in a world that constantly tries to pull you into urgency. So as the sunlight continues rising higher over the water, and the path ahead slowly becomes clearer, you can trust that you do not need to force your future into existence today. You only need to keep showing up for yourself consistently, calmly, honestly, one morning at a time, one decision at a time, one breath at a time, and little by little, the life you have been hoping for begins meeting you halfway. Not because you rushed into becoming someone else, but because you stayed connected long enough to become more fully yourself.